What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to the next episode of It's Better Than You Think. Today I did want to take a look at a pretty underrated assault rifle, the Seraphim. Now, the Seraphim is, again, one of those weapons that's not like a top tier DPS weapon, but it is very good for, how slept on it is. First of all, it's locked to the best element, which makes it easy to farm, at least if you know how to get Seraph crystals. And also, it drops from the Oasis Seraph vendor, where the actualizer is too, and both of those are very good. I've covered the actualizer, I'll link to that if you want to check it out. I will also link to Mr. TX01's video showing how to get Seraph crystals if you want to check that out. Now, the Seraphim is interesting in that it only fires 3 shots. Most all weapons, the burst size depends on how many dull parts they have. That is not the case for the Seraphim. Now, here I have an equally parted Seraphim with a non-unique version, which is called a Carbine. You can see the Seraphim has much higher base damage, slightly worse accuracy, equal fire rate, worse reload speed, and bigger magazine size. But do keep in mind that the regular Carbine, again, the burst will depend on the amount of shots, or on the amount of dull parts you have. So we'll just go ahead and shoot. You can see it's a much longer burst than the 3 from the Seraphim, but the Seraphim is still much better, and its only special effect is that it shoots slow-moving bullets. So I am going to be spec'd fully into velocity to try to help make up for that. I do like this weapon the best on Zero. It's also good on Maya and Axton as well. I'm going to use it with a legendary killer here, and yeah, we will go ahead and get started. Now, because of the slow-moving bullets, it also has a kind of a severe recoil, so I find that I like using this weapon better at close range. It actually hits surprisingly hard, but again, because of that kind of severe recoil and stuff, and slow-moving bullets, you do want to use this at close range. It's surprisingly good when hip-fired, by the way, if you check that out. Now, also, Maya can hold enemies still, so she's good for it in that sense. I mean, look at that damage. I'm sorry, it just blows my mind that people call these bullet sponges. Okay, shut up, Garnet. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. I mean, damn, dude. Holy crap. I forgot that this thing was this good. Again, it does have that one drawback of not being able to be used at a very long range. But yeah, damage-wise, really, really good. I'm one bursting OP10 enemies with no bar. Just so good. I imagine it would be good on all characters. Zero is good with basically anything because he's a glass cannon. Ma should be good with it because, again, she can hold enemies still to help make up for the recoil and stuff. Come on, Hearts. Come on. Don't let me down, Hearts. Now, this guy I'm a little worried about. I don't know if I'm going to be able to crit him with this weapon, I should say. Little bit. Yeah, very hard to crit this guy with this weapon. I may have to swap to my Bada Boom to take him out. But, every weapon doesn't have to be good at everything, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just because of the slow-moving burst, I'm having a really hard time critting him. So, yeah, I'm just going to have to take him out with the Bada Boom. So, again, some people think that a weapon has to be good at everything. I just think a weapon has to be good against general mobs for it to be a viable weapon. There's going to be a lot of weapons that will struggle against certain enemies like that. So again, it is a weapon that you if you repeatedly fire it, you can see the recoil and stuff can be a bit hard to manage. I'm also spec'd into precision, which should help that a bit. Also, Loot Lemon, I believe, considers the wild accessory to be better. I'm not going to be using that because I just don't like how hard it makes it to control the recoil. With this version, you can see I'm using the bullet speed accessory and a dull grip. Whenever I do the Maya run, I'm going to use the damage accessory and the Jacob's grip. I just thought I'd mention that. But a very fun weapon. And again, just another one that, people trash on the Seraph so bad, but there are a lot of good Seraph weapons. There really are. He didn't get slagged from that, are you kidding me? And he still didn't get slagged. Bruh. Well, I'm allowing a bunch of enemies to close in on me, so this is not good. There we go. Wow, it just one bursted down that guy. So yeah, basically really great damage if you can land that full 3-round burst on an enemy. But slower moving bullets, not that much of a problem for Zero because of velocity. If you're not being skill issued like I currently am. Let's throw our grenade here. There we go. There we go. Nice. Yeah, I mean, people trash on the Seraphs, but there are a lot of good Seraphs, guys. Again, I highly recommend actually testing weapons before you decide that they're bad, you know. Don't take it on somebody else's word, because odds are 9 times out of 10 when someone tells you that a weapon is not viable, they are simply wrong, or they are simply underestimating it, you know. So again, you can see it does have that weakness of bad range, so more of a close range weapon. And again, I do find that it's too hard to crit like guys like this with... Oh, that bounced back against me. Oh, shit. That was very close. But again, in my opinion, it doesn't have to be good against everything to be a good weapon. Just wanted to keep in mind that it will have certain weaknesses like that. I mean, there's going to be a lot of weapons that'll struggle against guys like that, which are, you know, harder to crit. Let's get this other guy down here, slag multiple enemies at once. Get them all kunai'd. We should be able to drop them fast. Nice. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think about the Seraphim. I like it a lot. Oh, I pushed forward too far because I wasn't paying attention. Really, I start zoning out when I talk too much. That's, you know, another handicap. It's very hard to talk and like play well at the same time, especially when you're recording. Like when you first start recording, you like feel extra pressure and it's kind of hard to play. Like if you think I'm wrong, I would highly recommend trying to play on OP10 while recording gameplay that you're going to upload somewhere and while giving commentary. It's quite challenging. Oh, he wasn't even slagged and we killed him in like 2 bursts. So yeah, that is essentially how this weapon works. Incredible damage, but slow moving bullets, a bit unwieldy. I hate this section because I always freaking fall down here. There we go. And again, she's going to be able to hold enemies still. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a subsequence build or not. And then Axton, of course, has some skills that synergize nicely with assault rifles. Or I think he has 1 assault rifle skill. So, I mean, I like this weapon on Axton, but it's not like one of my top picks on him personally. And yeah, man, I mean, there's so many good Seraph weapons. That's another weapon tier that I just cannot believe people trash on. I mean, the more that people trash on good weapons and refuse to like be corrected, I mean, I slowly feel myself getting radicalized into turning into man of low moral fiber and becoming an elitist where I just turn into an asshole and I just start insulting people. I'm slowly being like radicalized that way. But, you know, I do really appreciate the people who leave comments saying that they have learned a lot from my videos about, you know, how much viable stuff there is. Those comments definitely keep me going, so I do appreciate that. But I do feel like putting a letter opener in my eyes whenever somebody tells me that, like, the saw bar sucks and it's just one of the best weapons in the game. Now, if you could say you don't like that you have to sweet spot with it and stuff, I could understand that. But just saying that it sucks is insanity. And again, the Seraphs, there's so many good Seraphs. I have a ton of raid bossing content. I think some of my new subscribers might not realize it. So again, not doing great against this guy. I have a ton of raid bossing content, guys, that you can check out. Raid bossing is hard in this game. Raiding is hard. Like, Digistruct Peak is overtuned, and most of the raid bosses are overtuned. I do agree with that. But they're not as impossibly hard as people make them out to be. You can check out so many videos I've done, different challenge runs, all kinds of stuff. And it is character specific. Zero is one of the best raiders. Mai and Axton are often considered to be the worst, but even they can raid. And for the most part, it's not that difficult. I have raid bossing videos for all of them as well. Like I said, I've done raid bosses with OP0 gear, with all non-unique gear. I need to kill this guy quickly before I get overwhelmed here. That was an epic fail. Dude, seriously. There we go. Gosh. Nice. I mean, that damage is so good. The Seraphs are not bad, guys. I mean, again, the raids are overtuned, but you just put some practice in and you can learn them. Again, I would highly recommend checking out my other videos if you want to see that. Yeah, there's so many good Seraphs. I'm going to continue to cover them. I've covered several already that you can check out if you are interested in actually learning how good they are. So again, Seraphim, excellent weapon. Basically super high damage, but you do have to use it at close range, and it is a bit unwieldy, a bit hard to land all the burst on an enemy. Again, this is with the bullet speed accessory and with 10 points in velocity, so it's looking not that bad. But we're going to switch over to Mai, and I'm going to use a different version that has a Jacob's grip and a damage clamp. So let's go get into that right now. All right, and here we are with the Mai run. As you can see, I'm using the version with the Jacob's grip and the damage clamp. I was very conflicted about what setup to use here. I decided to just go with the legendary binder, and I'm going to go for a subsequence build. Hopefully this should be able to kill enemies quickly. My thought process is basically, since it has slower moving bullets, it should benefit a lot from being able to hold enemies still. And I did skip Accelerate because, again, I will be able to hold enemies still, and there's just so many other good skills I wanted. 10 points in Suspension is what I always do when I'm doing a subsequence build. We'll see how effective this is. I may change my mind and end up swapping to the Legendary Siren. It would also work, again, guys, whenever I'm not saying that like the way I do things is the only right way. This is just showing what I do. So obviously I'm not going to have Scorn, so I'm going to have to rely on my grenade and my action skill, and perhaps I'll have to swap to a Pimpernel or something to slag. But let's get started here at the beatdown and see how we do. Oh, I don't have that, dude. Get this guy to look at me, phase lock him, see if we can take him out. Nice. Yeah, good damage for such a tanky enemy. Again, I missed a lot of shots there. So if I'll hopefully grab him and I can shoot him as well. All right, so we took out 2 big guys in that phase lock. Took that guy out. Gonna take that guy out. Nice. Again, we've got a big guy here. Oh, I took a dot. I might go down here. Try to keep the damage up to heal. So again, at this range, I may not be able to land shots. But there we go. Even the body shots are killing him. So you can see how much slower the projectiles are moving now that I'm not using all those projectiles boosts. But again, my thought process is that since I can hold the enemies still, it shouldn't really matter. Subsequence builds are a lot of fun. You can see I'm chewing through these guys. Not even landing crits some of the time. Gosh, dude. They're just getting destroyed. I don't think he's slagged, and we still took him out. Oh, he was. I couldn't tell, actually. Reload speed is very bad. But I think that is because I did not take... Yeah, I did not take Inertia. Perhaps it would have been wise to move the points from Quicken into Inertia, because I do already have cooldown from both of these here. So, yeah, probably should have done that, but oh well. Nice. Yeah, subsequence builds are so fun whenever the weapons are good enough to, you know, kill enemies quickly enough to use it. Oh, I just completely... Gosh, yeah, I mean, you can see how slow moving those bullets are. So that is, again, like the biggest downside of the weapon. Yeah, very, very slow moving. But good damage. Well, dropping off a little bit there. We'll go ahead and hit fire and take him out. So we got some fire damage coming this way. Oh, I'm going to get down to here probably. Nope, very, very close though. Nice. Yeah, again, so not a like top tier weapon, but definitely viable, definitely good. To me, top tier weapons are like weapons that can very, very, very quickly kill enemies, like on all characters. It's stuff like the Herald and the Pimpernel. Basically, regardless of build, they'll just destroy everything with little setup. I think I was talking to, might have been Alpha or Squeak Cheesetaker about how to rank weapons. I kind of think of weapons in 3 different tiers. For me, there's like tier 1, which is the really good weapons that are good basically in all characters, on all situations. Stuff like the Herald, the Pimpernel, the Lauda, the Sandhawk. You can basically slap them on any character in any build and they'll do well. And then there's like tiered, I would call that, you know, tier 1 weapons. Then tier 2 weapons would be weapons like the Seraphim, which can do very good when supported with the right build and the right character. I would say most weapons are probably tier 2. And then tier 3 would be weapons that are bad in most situations but can still be good, such as the Wanderlust, which is actually effective on Krieg and stuff. And the Madhouse. Squeak Cheese Taker has covered it and used it to surprisingly good effect. I think Alpha also covered it. I might be wrong about that. But most weapons are, I believe, tier 2, and pretty much every weapon is at least tier 3. I don't think there's a single weapon that is truly non-viable in every situation. Maybe there's something out there that I'm not thinking of, but I think you'd be kind of hard-pressed to find one like that. I got to retreat. Again, the beatdown, very tough map, very dangerous. Especially when I'm blabbing all the time and I can't focus. Alright, so we're going to have to wait for the phase lock to come back, because I don't want to get down tier. Alright, so we're going to take that guy out. Land our crits here, take him out. Yeah, again, most weapons are at least tier 2 in my opinion, which means supported by the right character and the right build, they will be good. Again, just the weapon just does not function at that range, as you can see. But at close up, I mean, it's just really, really strong. Again, taking these guys out really easily. And again, I probably should have moved those points out of Quicken into Inertia. Kind of a bad decision, but oh well. You know, again, you don't have to have a perfectly tuned build. Just an intelligently built one to do well on OP10. Go ahead and take him out. Take him out as well, since he's going to chase us up here, and our phase lock orb will do the same thing. Yeah, anytime I do a subsequence build, I only do them whenever I have 10 points in... I always forget the name of that damn skill, dude. 10 points in suspension. Because then you get, you know, extra long duration to get the phase lock orb to swing around and get different enemies. Oh, again, I don't have that skill. So, I'm getting pushed back a little bit. I'm gonna have to wait for my phase lock to get this guy. Where'd he go? Oh, he stopped chasing me. Go ahead and take him out. Again, the beatdown is just a map that you have to be really cautious on. We got that guy. Gonna try to kill him and say, well, there's multiple enemies here, so let's just go ahead and do this to disrupt them. Yeah, this is a really safe build because you keep constantly getting suspensions to go off, which is really nice. Which is why Mai is so survivable, because not only does she have such great healing, she can basically completely ignore Moxie weapons. Just her ability to disrupt mobs is also really nice and really good for survivability. Nice. Killing enemies in a single trigger pull is always a nice feeling on OP10. Man, I keep forgetting I don't have Scorn. And there's just so much elemental damage on this map, you really need to make good use of cover. This map is basically the ultimate test of your positioning. If you have bad positioning, you will repeatedly get downed on this map. Now, that's not to say... I do believe dots are overtuned. Again, you know... There are plenty of things about this game that I would tweak. I do wonder if we'll ever see a Borderlands 2 remastered. Personally, I don't have faith that... I suspect what they would do is they would change all of the shit that I like and leave in all the stuff I dislike. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one day we'll get a remaster that's actually really good and doesn't gut what I love about the game. So... with these guys, they just randomly blow themselves up, or they can be big time wasters. But yeah, as always, let me know what weapons you guys want to see covered. There are, again, many viable weapons. I'm not sure, like, I know they say that the game has millions of weapons or whatever, but that's counting, like, different parts and stuff. How many, like, named weapons are there? Like, I think there's, like, 178 unique weapons. How many weapons, like, named non-unique weapons are there? Like, the way the weapon system works is the weapon barrel and the manufacturer determine the name, and I'm not sure how many weapons there are in that sense with, like, different names, but I suspect that at least 200 of them, counting the uniques and non-uniques, I would estimate there's at least 200 viable weapons on OP10. I've already got about 30 weapon reviews up showing 30 very, very good weapons. And I'll just keep churning out more. If you guys keep watching, at least. As long as there's an audience for it, I'll keep doing it. Sometimes I do feel a little unenthusiastic about the channel. What the hell? Where am I getting shot from? Is that guy shooting me from inside that wall? Oh, he was, you little fuck. I can't hit him. I almost died to that guy. I completely lost my trail of thought too. My train of thought. Dude, are you kidding me? Fucking cheater. And I can't even hurt him. Okay, there we go, gosh. But yeah, there's a lot of things I've got going on and that I need to focus on. So sometimes I feel like I need to put less effort into the channel, especially, well, I won't get into that, but your guys' appreciative comments definitely helps keep me motivated to keep making videos. So I do always appreciate your support. And like I said, I'm going to start streaming soon. And what I plan on streaming first is a 0 to OP10 series. And if that goes well, I would like to stream the pre-sequel and Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 1 as well. Because, like, whenever I got my PC, I started over, obviously. And I actually don't have a lot of leveled up characters on my PC save files, which is what I play on exclusively now. Like, I don't have consoles anymore. But so what I would like to do is once I do that 0 series, if that goes well, I would like to level up an Aurelia on the pre-sequel, and then a Mordecai on Borderlands 1, and then a Zane on Borderlands 3. That's obviously way down the road, and it will depend on if people are interested in showing up for my streams. As, you know, as small as my channel is, it's a possibility that there won't be enough interest. But we'll see. I mean, I really like the pre-sequel. I really like Borderlands 1. And I even liked Borderlands 3. Like, I know I complain about some changes and stuff and some lack of difficulty, but I do still like those games. Like, for Borderlands 3, I didn't dislike Borderlands 3 as much as some people did. For me, it was mainly I didn't have a favorite character. And I was, like, I put the game down and I was excited about coming back when they released DLC characters. And then obviously they didn't do that. And I just kind of never picked the game back up. But I would like to play Zane again and level up a Zane. So maybe I can stream that. For Borderlands 4, I may make content for it. First of all, I'm just worried about performance as a PC player. But we'll see. I know, like, for Borderlands 2, you can disable the black lines with the community mod manager, and that will boost performance a lot. I don't know, is there a way to do that for Borderlands 3, and does it still boost performance? Do you guys think we'll be able to do that for Borderlands 4? Because obviously to play it and stream it and stuff, you'll need... Hopefully performance won't be an issue for that, you know? But yeah, like Borderlands 3 overall, I did find to be too easy. But for me, it made up for it by having a lot of raid level content, you know? That guy didn't get slagged. Are you kidding me? That is such bullshit. And like the pre-sequel, again, a great game, but not only was it very easy, it also didn't have much raid level content. Again, still a great game, but that kind of stuff did hurt it for me. But I was thinking back, it does have like EOS. I remember him being pretty tough. It's got like that giant circle of slaughter thing. If I recall, it was kind of tough. It's also got the invincible sentinel. What was that one thing called Evil Jiwa or something? I think he was actually really easy. Anyway, there's a couple of at least kind of challenging things in it, even though overall, yeah, it's definitely lacking in difficulty. I mean, people consider it to be like one of the best balanced Borderlands games. To me, whenever a Borderlands player says something is well balanced, they're just saying it's easy. That's just my opinion. Whenever you actually get into the nitty-gritty about it. But I've been talking so much, I've really not been focusing on the gameplay, and this has been hurting me a bit. But that's okay. Yeah, again, that the slow-moving bullets are just not playing nice when enemies are far away. So, again, a weapon with good damage that you kind of have to work around that. I mean, you can kill enemies even without crits, because he got phase locked backwards. I couldn't see his critical spot. I heard a scary shock damage or something. Where's that coming from? Is it him? No. Oh, it's one of those guys. But yeah, I would like to play the pre-sequel and Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 3 again if all that goes well. I'm kind of disoriented here. God, shock damage is so scary, dude. Alright, where is this freaking... I gotta stop playing around and take this guy out. How... Okay, yeah, this guy with the shock damage is pinning me down. I've got to get him with the phase lock. There he is, the little prick. I think he was one of those guys who got knocked out of the back, and again, they do not get slagged when they get knocked out. Very buggy area, still did not get a freaking Cobra. Yeah, Aurelia is one of my favorite characters in this series. She's probably my second favorite, and it's such a shame that there's not, like, more raid level content. She would be so fun to raid with if you could, like, import her into Borderlands 2. Or if somebody could somehow combine the pre-sequel and Borderlands 2, like Fallout 3 and New Vegas, in A Tale of Two Wastelands. From what I understand, that's basically impossible, but... Alright. So let's go ahead and wait for this guy. Phase lock him, take him out. When it bounces over, we'll get this guy. Yeah, subsequence builds, again, are a lot of fun. As whenever the weapon can kill fast enough to take advantage of it. But alright, yeah, there we go. The Seraphim. Again, I wouldn't consider it a tier 1 weapon or a top tier DPS weapon. Definitely a tier 2 weapon, definitely a weapon that is plenty viable when built properly. It does have great damage when you can land all 3 of those shots on an enemy's crit spot, but it does suffer from those slow moving bullets, so you do need to use it at a bit closer range, or, you know, do something like boost it with velocity or hold enemies still with phase lock. But yeah, guys, as always, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. Really appreciate the channel members. Shout out to Leg and Weirdna for being a Veracity Slayer. Really appreciate the support, man. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day, and I hope to see you next time.